Hey everyone, how's everybody doing today? I hope it's been a good day for everybody. Today's topic is going to be about what I like to call snowflakeitis. Um, and that's basically what back in my day we used to call people that were delicate little snowflakes, and that's not something that you wanted to be. Um, Growing up, I'm a Gen Xer, so I was the so-called latchkey kid. You know, you get off the school bus, you go home, you do your homework, you do your chores. If no one's still there by dinner time, you make your dinner. I knew how to make a few things, and then you would clean the kitchen and make sure that everything was put away. I also was getting myself up for school, getting ready for school, getting to the bus stop on time by around 10 or 11. So I was basically self sufficient as a kid, but I also grew up in a really strict household. My dad was a Marine, and everything was very much so you do as you're told, you're obedient, and you speak when spoken to. So that led me to be like a pretty shy and quiet kid, which didn't set me up very well for school. I got bullied a lot and tormented a lot. But I was taking those values from home and bringing it to school, so therefore I wasn't speaking up for myself. I wasn't doing anything about it. Number one, I knew that my parents weren't going to do anything about it, and I definitely wasn't going to tell a teacher, because then they would tell the other kid that I had complained, and then it just got worse. It wasn't going to get any better. So I just learned to be quiet and get through school. And so the way that I see it is, I was a so-called delicate little snowflake, just people didn't know. I internalized all that. So I was never a burden or a bother to anybody. So fast forward, I got my first job, my first big girl job out of high school. I'd had jobs before. And it was at a factory, which is a very male-dominated place to work. And I also got the bullying there. And there was one guy in particular who used to try to humiliate me in front of groups of other people, and I just never knew what to do besides feel anxiety and embarrassment. And so I got to the point where I didn't feel like I could do my job if he was anywhere around. And I thought to myself, you have got to get through this. You can't be this way. You're gonna have to stand up for yourself. And I had to really wrap my mind around the fact that I had to tell this guy where to go, and I was not used to doing that. So I had to like play it through my head several times, like, what are you gonna say? So I just kind of approached it in a way that wasn't very nice. I was very blunt. I just went up to him, and there was nobody else around. I went up to him and said, you are going to respect me. You are going to speak to me in a decent tone of voice, and you're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to stop trying to embarrass me. This ends. It can either end between me and you, and we can have an agreement, or I can go somewhere else and talk to somebody else about your behavior. Which way do you want to play this out? And he was so shocked, because I had never spoken up before, and he just kind of stammered. It was like, I didn't mean anything by it. And I said, yeah, you did. But it's going to end. And he said, well, I'm really sorry. It won't happen again. And it never did. So that kind of really taught me a life lesson that most bullies, most people that try to make you feel bad, if you confront them, don't know what to do. And it scares them. So I implemented that throughout my career at that job. I think it also, my childhood and the way I was brought up and not given a lot of attention. I think that when I became a parent, it kind of made me want to be the opposite of what I had. So I kind of went like the helicopter parenting, gentle parenting route. I always tell my kids every day, I love you. I always want them to know that they're loved and cared for. And just, I always want to make sure they're happy. And I think that that has caused somewhat of an issue, because I think maybe that's happened a lot. Maybe a lot of Gen Xers have overcorrected and went the other way, and kind of made life a little bit easy for their kids and not really taught them the life lessons. Because although it was tough for me growing up, there were some lessons in what my parents were trying to tell me. Like my stepdad would always say, you wear your heart on your sleeve. Everybody knows how you feel. And so that's why you get treated the way you get treated. You can't be this way. And I kind of understood what he meant, but I didn't know how to change it. Now I feel like because I went through all that hard time, that I wanted to make it easy for my kids. I wanted them to know they were always loved and cared for. And yes, I care about your feelings. I care what is going on at school. I care if, you're sad. And I kind of spoiled them in a way by just giving into them a lot and what they wanted a lot. So I think that's why you got a lot of adults, young adults right now that can't take being told no, or can't take being insulted or not getting their way. And we've all seen those videos where somebody doesn't get their way and they just start screaming and throwing themselves on the ground like a child. And it's like, okay, you're embarrassing yourself. You're acting like a toddler. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment for you, because this is not how adults act. So I think that we need to kind of get back the other way. It kind of needs to go a little bit towards the middle line there, and like not over back to where we were. But I think young adults nowadays, kids nowadays need to know there's not a trophy for everybody. There's not everything's going to be handed to you on a silver platter because you want it. Not everybody's going to think the same way as you do. And that's okay. That's no reason to have a meltdown. I think a lot of younger people need to realize that beyond your immediate family, people out in the world, they don't care. They just don't. They don't care what you think. They don't care what you like. They're not going to give you what you want just because you ask that of them. So I think that we need to get back to like really kind of toughening up kids in a way, because I know a lot of people, and I did a video on kindness. I try to always lead with kindness. That's me. But that's not everybody. And young adults need to realize that. You're going to have to work really hard for what you want. It's not going to be just handed to you. Life is hard. Wear a helmet. Be prepared. Because this whole thing of, I'm offended. I'm offended that you said that. I'm offended that you said that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're offended by anything. I was always taught, if somebody is acting in a way you don't like, if they're speaking to you in a way that you don't like, turn around and walk the other way. And that's how I live my life to this day. If I don't like it, I don't have to deal with it. I can either walk away, turn the TV channel, turn the radio station, not watch that YouTube person. whatever. You have that choice. The other person also has the ability to have their choice and what they think, and they're allowed to voice it, just like you're allowed to voice yours. It can't be you're offended over every little thing. If that's how it is, you're never going to leave your house. So I think that you just really need to start wrapping your mind around the fact that you are going to have to toughen up. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Don't, for the love of God, don't throw yourself down on the ground and have a fit. You look ridiculous. Be able to have like an adult, calm conversation. You should be able to do that. There's so many people that can't do that. I see so many videos on here where somebody does a YouTube video and it can be so innocuous. It could be about the weather. It could be about going shopping. It could be about hair. It could be about politics. It could be about religion. Somebody's going to be offended. Somebody's going to get on an old high horse and get down in the comments and troll people and be mean. And I've had people be mean to me on stuff that I commented on, and it's just like, whatever. Like, brush it off. Let it just roll off your back. Move on. Because when you do that, you take the power away from that person. If somebody says something to you and you don't like it and you turn and walk away without saying anything, how do you think that affects that person? It takes their power away. They're probably going to be flabbergasted that they didn't get a reaction out of you. In fact, I have dealt with somebody at one point in time that said something very inappropriate to me. And he said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "I think you're trying to get a reaction out of me. I think that you're trying to get me to react in a way that you can laugh about later. And that's not what you're going to get from me." And I turned and walked away. And I mean, he was shocked. That's how it is. If you don't like it, you don't even have to say anything back. Just turn around and walk away. They're not going to know what to do. So that is my advice. Toughen up. Don't be a snowflake. Don't be a delicate little flower. Don't get on here and cry about, just the most inane things. There's other things that's more important going on in the world than the fact that somebody doesn't agree with you on who the president should be. Like, really. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. I had a girl on Facebook that leaned a certain way and I leaned the other way, and I kind of just wasn't hateful in what I put, but just made a comment about the opponent that she was supporting, and I was immediately blocked. And I just thought, I wasn't mean. Now she's blocked me. That's so childish. Don't be like that. Don't be childish in the way you respond to people. Be an adult. For goodness sakes, you got the rest of your life to live. And life is not candy canes and roses and rainbows and unicorns. It's not. You're probably going to have to deal with more hard times than good times. I don't know, that's how I've been. So prepare yourself. Wrap your mind around the fact that, like, if you're on the road, driving down the road, all these people that are driving around you, they don't care about you, in your opinion. Nobody cares. Nobody. And you got to be okay with that. You have to. You have to be okay with that and not care. That's why the Gen X, they always call us the generation that doesn't care. That's because of everything that we were put through and where we are at now in life. You have to be that way. You have to say, it is what it is. I don't care. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to, make sure that I take care of the people that I love and care about. And if Susie Q down the street doesn't like me, I don't care. So let's all think about that and hope and pray that we can get back to more of a middle ground of approaching life. It's okay if somebody says something and you are offended, but don't let them know that you're offended. And know yourself that you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to deal with it. You have that freedom and that power. You can also take that other person's power away that is being mean and rude to you. So that's my suggestion. If anybody else has any other suggestions or thinks a different way, I'm more than happy to listen to the comments, and hopefully we can get a discussion going. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their day, and I will see you later. Bye.